Hello and welcome to episode 29 of the Avonlea Chronicles, a knitting podcast. My name is Martha and I'm here to talk about all things knitting and crafting. So the last time I podcasted, I was waiting on some parcels. One of them was my Christmas present from my brother and it finally arrived. So what I wanted was from Twice Sheared Sheep. It's a knitting company out of the States, and Central Pearl, a yarn shop in Ontario, carries their products, but they always go out of stock. I've never been able to get my hands on them, and they were even out of stock right before Christmas. So I had to send my brother the link to Twice Sheared Sheep in the States, and then a few days later, Central Pearl got their restock, but it was too late. Anyway, I have had my eye on these for almost a year, and they are some tools. So the first thing are these Snap ID cord organizers, and these hold your cables for your interchangeable needles. So this one is the numbered set, so you get 4 of them. 16 inch, 24, 32, and 40. So it's labeled with the number. And then my Mindful collection of interchangeable needles doesn't have 16 inch, but you just wind up your cables and put these ID organizers or cords, tags on your cords, and then they stay together. I love these needles, and they do have, I'm just trying to find one. They do have the size printed on them, but it wears off so quickly when you're using them all the time. So I have one here and it's got some black writing on it, but it says it's the fixed cable and it's 32 inches from Knitter's Pride. But this set you get fixed and circular or swivel, like this silver part swivels. It's hard to tell in the video, but you get a 32 inch fixed and swivel, 32 or 24 inch fixed and swivel, 40 inch fixed and swivel. So I have 6 cords, and I was always they were always popping out of this pouch, and I would grab all of them and hold them up, and I knew that the smallest one was 24 and the longest one was 40. So if I was looking for 32 inch, I wanted the size that was in the middle, and it always just felt like a disaster. But now I have those ID organizers. They also come in universal. So it says small, medium, large, and extra large, but I wanted the numbers because I wanted to be able to see the inches of the cable it would make. And then the other thing is this quick gauge ruler. So this is a better way to show it. It has all of these stitches on it. So you put it up against your knitting, and if you've got 1 stitch in each of those little rectangles, then you've got 8.5 stitches per inch. Times it by 4 to get your 4-inch square, and then you've got your gauge. And it has a little ruler on the side, and it's so cute and small. Actually, in the pictures, it looks so much bigger. But this is what I wanted to help me with my gauge, because I'm terrible at making a gauge swatch. And actually, somebody said to me, don't worry about a gauge swatch for a shawl, just make your shawl, design it. This is for designing. I don't like making a gauge swatch. They said, make your shawl, design it, block it, and when you've blocked it, measure out a 4-inch square, clip on stitch markers, and then count the stitches and rows in that 4-inch square, and you'll have your gauge. Now I can just use this. And this year, Twice Sheared Sheep came out with a row gauge ruler exactly the same thing, except it's slightly, the boxes are slightly different to count your rows. And as soon as Central Pearl gets these in, because I assume she'll get the row gauge ones, I will be ordering one. But it is the perfect thing and the perfect size to go in your knitting bag. So those were two things that I got. Next up, my kitchen scale that I was using, that I like thrifted somewhere just to weigh my yarn. It has died. So I saw the Grocery Girls talk about getting a little pocket scale to keep in your knitting bag with you so that you can weigh your yarn wherever you are. So this is my new kitchen scale. This is a Starfrit pocket scale from Canadian Tire, and it's normally $18.99, so like 20 bucks, on sale for $14.99. So super cute. Again, super great size to put in your knitting bag, but I just needed to replace the old scale I was using for my yarn. I have like a really nice kitchen scale from my brother, but that's for food. This is for yarn. I do like to keep those separate. Okay, next up on things that I got. I had seen this book somewhere online, and it was on my Amazon wish list. I really just make an Amazon wish list of like books that I want. I do try to buy from local shops, but I was given an Amazon gift card from a student, so I was able to purchase this, and to like use up the rest of the gift card, I also ordered another book, and it's supposed to be delivered today. But this is the cutest story about a girl who has this magical box of yarn, and every time she knits something, she still has extra yarn. And it is just the cutest book. And I actually took it to school with me on Friday. I got the girl to write her name in, or the student to write her name in it, and the year. And then I ended up reading it to a grade 1 class, and then we watched a guided drawing video on how to draw a sweater, and then I had them just decorate the sweater however they wanted. And I could totally see using this and a guided drawing of a sweater to do like an art project. And if I'm doing higher grades, I would make it more, I would put more criteria. I was just having fun Friday, and these kids love to draw. So I was like, now you can decorate the sweater however you want. But if I was doing it for older grades, I would have like more criteria of it has to have like 2 different patterns, or we're gonna put our favorite food on it, or our favorite sports activity, whatever. But this is a really cute book. It's by Mac Barnett, illustrated by John Klassen. So that was what I got. And then I got one more thing. I've had some money stashed away, and I haven't known what to do with it for a really long time. And I have this collection of Addy textured needles. I have the Addy Rocket Squared, other textured needles that I got in Germany, and they're great. I've got the Addy Unicorns, and I just seem to have this little collection of fixed needles in a variety of sizes and a variety of cable lengths for things like mostly for designs, because I use the same needle sizes for my designs. But in the summer, when I was knitting my Wrapped in Love shawl, which was made with a wool silk blend, those stitches were slipping and sliding. I think I started them on my Mindful Collection needles, which have a straight shaft, and they were just slipping and sliding, and it was the worst on my hands because they would not stay on the needles. So I got the Addie Unicorn interchangeable set. So it just comes with a little brochure and a little note of who packed it. Here it is, all open. You get like this nice protective cover, and they put a unicorn pin on it. And then there are 8 needle sizes here, ranging from the largest at 8 millimeters to the smallest at 3.5. So these are like my most used sizes. I stay around the, I'm just trying to see, it's so tiny. My favorite size to design with is a 4 millimeter, so a US 6. But I just thought this would be a really great set to get. I love textured needles. I love my Mindful collection, but I also love textured needles. People say these twisted needle shafts really like massage your hands. So I have not really explored it yet, but it comes with the needles. It comes with like these little connectors. And then on the back is a zippered pouch with some grips, the cables, and there's just one of each size, 24, 40, 32, and I'm trying to see what else is left in here. Oh, there's one more, and these little heart-shaped needle or stitch stoppers, and it's some clicking system, so you don't twist them with a key like normal interchangeables. Like with my Mindful collection, and they're fixed, it's a fixed connector. Like with my Mindful collection, you and most others, you twist the needle shaft onto the little fixed or swivel metal connector. But I do often find, actually, with my interchangeables, I will be knitting and like it will untwist, and you have a little key. So normally you have a little, there's a hole in the shaft, you put a key in there, you twist on your needle shaft, and then you use the key to give yourself some friction and like tighten it, and then you have to use the key again to like untwist. But sometimes they come untwisted. This is a totally new system for me. It's got like this little like locking mechanism. Anyway, I am excited to try these out. I also don't think it's a bad thing. I think your tools are really important. And I have tried wooden needles, and while I love wooden needles, I knit so much that I just whittle the tips down, which is why I've gone for metal sets. And I love my Mindful collection. It has 14 needle sizes, and this one has 8, but like these are my most used sizes. And if I was going on a trip and I didn't know what needles to take, I would take this set. I wouldn't take this because I typically don't use the biggest or the smallest. So I love to have options, and I think that's why I have a whole collection of fixed needles in like Addie Rocket Squared, Addie textured ones that I got in Germany, some unicorn ones, because I needed different options, and I love knitting with the textured needles, and these ones have been my favorite. So that was why I invested in this. These two sets will like be passed down to my great grandchildren because they won't ever, like they're never going to whittle away. They're forever sets. And if you need to replace the cables, you can replace the cables. So this was what I got using some money that I've had stashed away. So I am very much looking forward to using that. Okay, next up, I have some finished objects. The first thing is my blanket. It's like, oh, here we go. It's not really, there's no real right or wrong way, but I finished it. It's just a cute, my camera is much closer to me today than I usually have, but it's just a cute little lap blanket. I used the full skein. I've gotten so much out of this Advent. This is the second project and I still have enough scraps that I could make some other scrappy little thing. But the main skein, I was able to make a 7-round granny square for the center. I used it to join, continuous join as you go all the way around. And then I still had quite a bit left. So I did a second round of granny stitch. Like when you do continuous join as you go, you join your granny squares, you get to the end, you've joined them all, so you've got a nice row along the top of granny stitches, you go down the side, you go back across the bottom, then you zigzag up and down, go back across the bottom. So when you get to the end, you're doing a row of granny stitches along the bottom and then up the side to join it back at the beginning. But I had enough stitches or enough yarn that I went around and did granny clusters around the outside again. So I have 2 rows of granny clusters, and then I did a scalloped border. Now I used the scalloped border pattern from the Le Triangle Granny shawl, but the corner only worked out on one corner. So like you do your little cluster to make a scallop, then you do a stitch in the next chain space, then you do another cluster, and then you do a stitch. And so it worked out here very nicely that I ended with a space stitch, did my cluster at the corner, and then started with another space stitch. None of the other corners worked out like that. I always ended up arriving to the corner with a cluster and then just having to fudge it a little, do the corner, and then do my space stitch and go around. I don't know why. I really wasn't too fussy about it. I think that it's perfectly imperfect and it just adds to the Anne of Green Gables-ness of this. But I love this cute little blanket. It's super great. It's a nice size for your lap. Okay, next thing, they fell. I have to grab them. I'm a one-take wonder, so if things fall, I have to grab them. I forgot to show this in my last podcast, but for Crazy Hair Day before Christmas, I had seen this crocheted bow on Instagram. So I went to Etsy, bought the pattern, and you got 3 different crochet bow patterns in this one pattern. So you could do a granny square bow where you just make a bunch of granny squares, join them in a strip, and then make it into a bow. Or this one, which is just a granny stitch. Or this granny stitch one with a tapered edge. This one just has a square edge. And this is DK weight, I think. It was just scraps that I got at a yarn swap. And I steam blocked this. and I wet blocked this. So I think this is curling because it's steam blocked and not wet blocked, but it's okay. I kind of love it. And then I got the barrettes on Amazon. I think I got 4 different sizes and 100 barrettes. So like 25 of each size. I went for a bigger barrette on this one. I just hot glued them onto the back, and then the little holes on the barrettes, I just did a little stitch. But this was also scrap from our yarn swap. I thought this would look super cute in the summer, and when my hair gets longer, it'll be super cute. But yeah, I love these. It's a really quick project and super satisfying when you just need some instant gratification. And then I found out with my Kobo, my new Kobo, that if you, because I kept seeing people have audiobooks on their Kobo when I like look at pictures in the Instagram feed of Kobo, and I'm like, what is up? Okay, well, you can buy audio, and I wondered why you could buy audiobooks for Kobo. Yeah, you can buy audiobooks for Kobo because if you have Bluetooth headphones, you connect your headphones to the Kobo, and then you can play audiobooks. I bought an audiobook just to try it. But these are my Beats Solo headphones. They are old, but the ear pads are dry and flaky. And so I wasn't really using these because the ear pads were dry and flaky, and I don't want like white flakes of, you know, faux leather getting all over my hair and in my ears. So I've had this on my Ravelry favorites for quite a while. And I saw another knitter knit these, and they're called the No Flakes headphone covers. So it's just, I'm not going to tell you how to knit them, because if I share anything about the pattern, I'll be taking away from that person's design. But it was a super quick project, and they're just super cute. Also, stash yarn from Yarn Swap. I got like several partial skeins of yarn. So this is like a fingering weight, and because mine are rose gold, I went for the pink color. This was also a super satisfying project because it was quite quick, and now I can wear my headphones again and not have to worry about the stuff flaking off. And it was cheaper to make them, like just buy the pattern, use yarn that I had, than it was to buy new ear pads and have to like pop off these old flaking ones. So that is all the stuff that I've got and projects that I finished. I'm now working on some very special projects. I didn't really have, I finished the gingerbread man and took him to school. And for about a week and a half, he was just like in my friend's work bag. And she's been teaching the story of the gingerbread man. And so last week, after school one day, we put the gingerbread man above the smartboard, and we were like, we'll just wait to see what if the kids notice. Those kids, 2 days, they did not notice. I was not there when she introduced the gingerbread man. The kids said nothing to me. So then, like, the gingerbread man has been out for 2 more days. He's been up, like, in the room, in a spot where they can see it for 2 days. Then he comes out. He's been around for 2 days. The first day he was there, he wrote a letter, or they wrote him a letter. I responded back as the gingerbread man. Those kids said nothing to me. Friday afternoon, I walked in to grab something. I was in and out of that classroom in like less than 5 seconds. And I just heard my friend go, "Did you say anything to Miss Wood?" And I was already like back out in the hallway and I just yelled, "No." So the next time I went in, they were like, "Thank you, thank you." But he is getting so much love. He is so loved. I can't wait for them to like, they'll lose their mind. I mean, they've seen the gingerbread, or they've seen the snowman. And I don't think they've seen the bunnies, but I know that the snowman and the bunnies will get as much love as the gingerbread man. And I'm hoping to be able to make the 3 little pigs and the wolf at some point. I know that those will get loved too. But that went over very well. And I did the cross stitch. I finished it. And it also is well loved by the recipient. So I was very grateful that those projects went over well. And so I was just thinking, okay, I'll start on my sweater again. I have a shawl that I'm working on that's a design that's just super simple. Maybe I'll plug away at that. When my friend asked me if I would make 3 of my Wrapped in Love shawls for some children who have experienced a tragedy. And she said, the only thing I want is for the yarn to be, it needs to be soft. I want the wool to be soft. So we were gonna go shopping together, and then I decided to just go see, I made a last minute, I dropped my friend off and then decided I might as well go see what the yarn shop has, because I haven't been into my local yarn shop in ages. I mostly buy my stuff online. So I went in and I looked and looked and looked, and I kept coming back to the Diamond Luxury Traditional Sock Yarn. I think it's a wool acrylic blend. It's fingering weight and it is soft, and it comes in lots of colors. So this is the start. I'm like halfway through my first ball. I've just bought 2 balls of each. I'm making some modifications. So the original Wrapped in Love shawl is knit on 3.5mm needles with fingering, or with lace weight, 3.5mm needles on lace weight yarn. This is fingering weight yarn on 4mm needles. So I went up a needle size, the size I usually use for fingering weight projects, and that's it. Stitch count is the same, pattern is the same. The other thing I'm trying with this is slipping, and I did this with my Anne's Advent shawl because I was doing it on, I did it on Hohi's Mystery shawl. I'm trying it out, and it's just slipping the first stitch knitwise with the yarn in the back. Just makes a nice clean edge. I'm trying it out. I liked it on my Advent shawl. I'm liking it on this shawl. So that's the only modification. Bigger needle size, fingering weight, and I'm slipping the first stitch. This was never meant to be a quick project. The lace takes a while, and because it's stockinette background, you're purling the wrong side. So, and I have to make 3 of them. So this is the first color, and then this is the second color. It's for some twins, so we wanted the same but different, and then this is for the other child. So this is my sole project right now, is making 3 of these Wrapped in Love shawls. And I had found in the summer, when I made this shawl for my friend, I had actually, I'm just grabbing it, found online, I wanted a prayer shawl tag, but I didn't want a prayer shawl tag from my church's prayer shawl ministry. Nothing against them. I just wanted something because it was just coming from me. And I ended up finding this free prayer shawl tag that says "You are wrapped in love," and it's got hearts on it. And it's not, it is not a religious, there's no religious affiliation on this tag. There's nothing about God. So it's just perfect. And then I have these wooden heart cutouts from the dollar store. And you used to be able to get these light bulb safety pins there. I have not found them. But I have a whole box of stitch markers with like wooden cutouts and stuff on them. So I have prepared and I already had these printed out from the summer when I had made one for my friend, because it did like 4 to a page. So I have the tags all ready. I just need to knit the shawls, but that's what I'm working on right now. That's the only thing I'm working on. Although I did have these little side quests of like my headphone covers and the bows for my hair. And then my friend was like, you should really have some tags on your shawls, on your work. If you're going to give your stuff away, you need to have tags. So I have been in contact with a small business I think in Ontario, and I met them like 2 years ago at my local fiber festival, and I found the business. I knew that I had a business card, and on the back it said custom leather tags, because I had like 2 years ago had thought about getting some custom leather tags. So I found that business card. I wrote them an email. I said, I met you like 2 years ago at this fiber festival. I have a business card and it just says custom leather tags on the back. Do you still do them? This is my logo. Like, what's the deal? So I got the lowdown on the custom leather tags. I got some mock-ups done and I'm just waiting to hear back. I said, like, I love, like, there's 2 different designs. One of them is like a rectangular tag that like I would put on the back of this, like a little rectangular tag. And then the other one is like a tag that you would fold over and like put on the cuff of a hat or on like the cuff of mittens or something. So I've ordered, I'm waiting to hear back, but I've ordered like both styles of tags. And then I've also thought about business cards for a while. And since I'm making some things to be given away, I went for business cards too. I went into Canva, designed my business cards, and then Staples. I looked like it really, I don't feel it really matters where you get your stuff printed from. So Staples is powered, their business card printing is powered by Canva. So I was really easily able to save my business card template and then just pop those images into the Canva business card template in Staples, because it wouldn't let me be on my Canva account and like logged into my Canva account and then go to Staples business cards via Canva and like open it up in my account. It's just, I guess the way that it's set up, you can't do that. But after lots of back and forth, I asked my friend for her opinion and to proof these are my business cards. So it's got my logo on the front, Avonlea Knits, with my name across the bottom. You will see on some platforms it said, or on like things on my website, like merch, mine says Avonlea Knits Martha B. Wood, but like if my merch has my logo on it, like my sweater, I've taken out Martha B. Wood and just put knitting because I don't want someone wearing a sweater that says Avonlea Knits Martha B. Wood on the bottom. I'm trying to like not have people have my name plastered everywhere. And then my friend suggested putting a quote on the bottom or somewhere. And so I found the quote from Anne of Green Gables. It's delightful when your imaginations come true, isn't it? And I think Matthew said that quote. And I thought that was so perfect because like the universe gives me these pattern ideas and designs, and I knit them up, I work on them, and I thought that that was just such a fitting quote. And then on the back, it has my name, and I've put knitwear designer, and then you can scan the QR code to access my website. And then on the other side, I have my email address, my website, and then at Avonlea Knits, which is the tag that I use for Instagram, for Pinterest. And then I just have 4 icons on the bottom. An icon for website, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, because that's where I am. I'm not on Facebook as Avonlea Knits. I don't really like Facebook and don't really use it personally, so I'm not using it for my business, but I do use Instagram, YouTube, obviously, because you're watching me here. And then I asked my friend about Pinterest, and she was like, Pinterest is like, it has stood the test of time. So I had created a business account on Pinterest when I was working with the photographer, because that's where she sent me the mood board for our photo shoot. So I have decided, and I'm starting to learn about Pinterest and work on that. But these are the business cards. I think they turned out so great. So, and I ordered 100 business cards, and like the math is not mathing, because as I've been like counting them out, and I don't know if it was because some of them have like, these are the good ones, but there was like a small defect of like a weird little line. It's not even really noticeable along here. But anyway, that box has 138 business cards. And if you count the one stapled to the front of the box, it's 139. But these are perfect because I can pop a hole onto them and tie them onto a design. If I've knit something up, I don't know if she's going to want them on the prayer shawls, but I might have if she does, because I'm giving these away. If the person that asked me to knit them wants my business card on them, I will pop a hole on it and add it to the prayer shawl tag. And then last night, I just whipped up these business card little covers really quick. I found a free pattern on Ravelry. It uses worsted weight, but I did fingering held double. I had to add a few more stitches, and then I just put these little clasps on them. I just wanted something that I could like keep business cards in now to like throw in my purse or throw in my knitting bag. So I have one for like my purse and then one for my knitting bag to keep my business cards in. I'm really excited. I can't wait to hear back about the leather tags and get those like ordered and shipped to me to put on things. So yeah, that is what's been happening. I now have to go and keep working on these prayer shawls because they take a long time. So that's what I'm working on. I am hopeful that the next time I'm here, maybe I'll have some leather tags. Oh, and the other thing that I'm waiting for is the last 3 Anne of Green Gables character clubs from Peggy May Yarns. I ordered these way back in the spring, summer. They were set to ship this fall, and then there was the Advent too. The last 3 clubs of character clubs are Rachel Lind, Muriel Stacy, and Aunt Josephine. She was the crotchety old aunt of Diana Barry. Anyway, they shipped on December 9th. I got Etsy notifications for all of them. They shipped on December 9th with no tracking, and they have not arrived yet. And Etsy keeps asking me to rate and review them. So I had to put in 3 different claims that say they haven't arrived yet. So we'll see what happens. I've been like checking every day in the mail, hoping that maybe they were just stuck and like I'll get a customs note saying you got to pay this before you can get your package. I don't care. I've just been waiting for them because I did pay for them, and I'm waiting so that I can complete the set. But that's the other thing I've been waiting for that hasn't come yet. It's the only thing that hasn't come, but that's what I've been working on. I'm fingers crossed that the postal system will work in my favor and my Anne of Green Gables clubs will come. And I'm now going to go and knit some prayer shawls for these kids. And that's what I'm working on. And I will see you back here in 2 weeks. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me at Avonlea Knits to see what else I get up to.